So I'm gonna let me clean this. Okay, so I'm going to record this real quick. As you can see, I have braids on, like I braided my hair, and added extensions. So this is a very vulnerable one to go through, but I, for a long time, I mean, probably if you've subscribed to the channel, you probably have seen a video of me talking about how one should stick to oneself and appreciate our bodies, and not hurt ourselves in the process of trying to change and adapt to or trying to please people. So for me, I've used my hair. I like my hair, and I let it free, right? And a lot of times I use my hair as a way to resist, as a sign of resistance, right? So I would have like weird kind of hairstyles, and I would use my hair however I please, even if that would make people uncomfortable, because it's just my hair. It just grows like that. So I do not have to modify myself, especially if it's something that hurts me or inconveniences me just to please you. Now, if I have a particular objective, a particular goal that I want to reach, and I know that modifying my hair might help me achieve that quicker, maybe I will consider it, depending on what it is. But I do not want to harm myself in any way. So I will be very careful about that. I have worn braids before, but I think this time, right now, that I'm wearing braids, it feels different. I am going to say why. Whenever I used to wear braids before, I mean, growing up, it was more like nobody was around to style my hair, so they would get me braids. It was like a protective style that would last for summer. So my parents, since I have to go to school, didn't want to be styling my hair during the whole summer, right? Makes sense. So it was more like something cultural. Then afterwards, it was more like a style thing, or when I wanted to get a break from perming my hair, from going to the salon and all that. So it was again a break for me. Now, I mean, before today, let's say 2, 3, 4 years ago, I would wear braids. Well, by that time I was already natural, and I would wear braids to either let the hair grow, not having to style it myself because I did not know my hair. I didn't know what to do with it. And other times it was mostly because of style, like I wanted a change of look. And at some times, it was also, in some instances, to be more presentable for people, because people would not be like, I would wear them for style, right, or to take a break, but then people started commenting on my hair anytime I would remove the braids, because I was like, okay, I'm done with it. After a month, I'm done. It's the month. A month is like the top. I could do. But every time I would remove the braids, people would tell me, oh, like your hair is not this or your hair is not that. Or I would see how the look would change. The looks would change. And I was pretty comfortable with that, but it's noticeable. I'm like, okay, whatever, it's normal, like it's a change and they were not expecting that, or they don't like my hair, but whatever, it's fine. And I've always been bold about my hair, with my hair. So seeing this last time that I braided my hair, it was different. I had stopped for about a year and a half or two. I had stopped with the braids. I was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to be changing myself. I don't want to be succumbing to what I know I do not need, which is the braids. And what I know, if it's a cultural thing, it's tradition, and we're going for style and stuff like that, there are moments for that, and I think we can be flexible, right? As long as it does not hurt, as long as it's not something that's damaging to the body. So at some point, I had a lot of things going on in my mind. First, I was thinking about how much we change ourselves. This is something that I've always thought about, but I started to take it more seriously and incorporate it in my everyday life. I was like, okay, I don't need the braids, and I know I don't, and I don't mind people looking at me the wrong way. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna do my thing, right? And also, I wanted to remind people, I wanted for people to accept me the way I was. Because for me, wearing braids was something like that was more about fun, looking a certain way, like changing looks or whatever. But then it became something that people expected from me, people wanted from me. They could not accept the idea of me with my hair the way it was. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to shove it down your throat. You need to see that hair. And if you want to be part of my life, you're going to have to accept it. It is what it is. Okay? You don't like it, then, you're a problem. You're a problem. You're not the one who's going to style my hair. You're not the one who's going to suffer under the suffer the pain of braids, of braiding. You're not the one who's going to have to pay hundreds of dollars to get your hair done. You're not the one feeling uncomfortable about succumbing to your demands. You're not gonna be the one. So I'm like, F it. So I wanted people. Someone just called. I'm like, how come this person is calling? Out of everybody and my contact list, that sounds weird. That not sounds weird. That is weird. Anyways. So I wanted to make a point. I wanted to show people. I wanted my friends to understand this is who I am. The hair that I have is the hair I have. Because I have accepted it for myself. And I've loved it because it was a process. And let's say because of the environment in which I was, I know I couldn't completely be myself, etc., etc. There's certain things I needed to do, and other people were taking these decisions for me. So I thought, I'm done. All right, so it was going well. I'm like, okay, whatever, weigh my hair. And then later on, I had to go. Also, at a certain period of time, I was losing hair, and it was traction alopecia plus stress. I was going through a lot in the last 2 3 years. So I was like, okay, so braids are not gonna help. Braids are not gonna help. I don't want to succumb to consumerism, because I know I'm gonna have to be buying hair all the time. It is something that I do not need. Okay, it is an extension. It's not me. So I was like, okay, let me just put everything down. I mean, reconsider everything, my life, etc. Then I had the alopecia thing. Then I had other philosophical thing going on for me. So I was like, I'm done. But then, for me, I'm okay with getting dirty looks from people. This is why I was always so bold with my fashion looks, because I was like, I don't care. You can be mad, right? And I like that. I like the fact that I can be weird and be weird. So for me, having people looking at me, I'm like, yeah, you probably jealous because you cannot be free like that. Okay? You're mad at me because I'm free enough to follow my gut. My gut. And to follow my creative impulse. So yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever. But what I want to say is that now, when I traveled to I went to my family's house recently, and I think these were the only dirty looks that I couldn't stand for a while. I mean, at the beginning, I was like, oh, whatever. They can say whatever they want, because I was, I would often have this comment like, I need to braid my hair, I need to style my hair, I need to do something with my hair because it looks weird, it looks whatever. And my hair at the time, I was going through a lot because I had to cut my hair against myself, against my will, because I had done a blow dry. I blow dried my hair. And did kind of a silk press, but it wasn't a full silk press. And I didn't expect my hair to never come back to its natural state. So it was completely damaged. And I actually think it was because of the person who did my hair that day. Not because I necessarily did a silk press, because I know that though it is more damaging than a regular blow dry, which is mostly what I did, but I think the hair was already damaged in the blow dry phase. Anyways, that's another story. So I had to cut my hair, and I really loved my hair. I really loved, having like my caraba kind of hairstyle, or doing like crazy things with my hair. I really loved it. So having to cut my hair because, again, I had I know some people, I was planning on doing something with my hair. I'm not gonna refill it yet. And I said, okay, before I do that, I need to see how long my hair is, because I really want to see that. So I went and blow dried my hair and did the silk press, and it ended badly because my hair never got back to the state it was, and I had to cut it very short because even my roots were straight. And so while I'm going through this period where my hair is not looking good, my family would often look at me in a weird way, or they would always tell me, oh, your hair this, your hair that. And it profoundly hurt me, because not only was I going through something that wasn't my fault, but I also did not want to pay too much attention to putting makeup on, to looking pretty to people, because that wasn't my focus at the time. I needed to focus on other things. I was thinking about other things. That wasn't my focus. So I was like, if this is what's gonna make you guys feel comfortable, then that's your problem. But then at the same time, I never really talked to them like that. I didn't, like sometimes I'm like, yeah, like, whatever. Like I don't want to braid it. I don't want to do these kind of things, or I don't want to do that. But it was so persistent. The look, the judgment, the little comments from time to time. And it started to kick in. This is a something that I haven't felt in years. Actually, when I was going to do the blow dry, I don't know if that's a term that you guys use, but I'm saying it like that because in Haiti we say blower. We did a blower. It's like you blow dry your hair and straighten it. But for me in Haiti, I'm sorry, what I was saying, when I was gonna blow dry my hair, I know this is the kind of thing that my mom would be happy to see, and my sister too, and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, before I did this silk press, I went to the salon maybe 3 times before I actually decided to do it. In 2 instances, I went back. I left the salon. Like I arrived in front and I'm like, do I really want to do this? And then I left. And then there was another time where I went and I waited for a while. Then I left. It was always like, I don't think I really want to go through. I want to do this again. But then I did it, whatever. So afterwards, when I went to my family's house, I couldn't, at some point, because at the beginning it was not it, but at some point I felt like I had to abandon myself so I wouldn't have to see the look that they had in their eyes, sorry. And against myself, I did something. I went and got those braids. Someone in particular was basically begging me to have the braids because she just couldn't see my hair the way it was. And sometimes I wanted to say, do you forget the kind of hair you have? Maybe you're forgetting. We're the same people. We have the same hair and the same things. Like, is it that bad? Are we that bad as a people? And so I was supposed to come here. I was supposed to travel. There was a part of me that didn't want to have to deal with everything and having to braid and not braid, or style my hair, or having other people in the family, because I was coming to another house, which is another family. This place is, my family's place. And I was like, I also do not want these people to be having the same reaction to me when I just come. But I do not like the fact that I present to someone for the first time in a way that I am not. Because when I'm going to remove this, which is soon, I wanted to remove it this week. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, but because it's long. I mean, it's a lot. They're rather small, so that's gonna take me some time. The good thing is they're short. My hair is short right now, so there won't be much to unbraid. I think I can do it. So yeah, I want to finally go back to my hair, and if in the future I do get braids again, I hope it's going to be only when I feel like wearing it, not to hide my hair, for people to feel comfortable, but because I decide to have a certain style, whatever. And I hope that's not gonna be soon, because for now at least, I don't want to constantly do this kind of things. Not that I think it's bad like that, because I think we can also be flexible. I was a little bit rigid with myself, and the way I related to things and other people. But yeah, so that's it. I don't know if you guys have felt that way, but I think it's we need to accept ourselves. We need to accept ourselves. The thing is, when I wear braids, I'm sorry, I want to end the video, but I just want to say this. When I wear braids or when I wear makeup, I feel like a fraud. I feel like I'm presenting myself in a way that I am not. And if I want people to love me, I want people to love me the way I am, with all I have. And I think I believe what I have is enough. Not that I can never wear makeup, but I think I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's a thing where I'm like, oh, I'm never wearing makeup. But I know it also does a lot of damage to us, to our self-image, to our health, because these products are not good. For example, a few months ago, I was reading a book about natural remedies and stuff like that, and it explained how many of our infertility problems come from cosmetic products. So we really need to be careful with these things. It's not only a matter of consumerism, but it's a matter of health, self-image, okay, acceptance, self-image, health, acceptance. I know there's something that's missing. I don't remember. Yeah. Infertility, self-image. Anyways, if I ever remember, I will add it here. And if I don't remember, even when I'm editing this video, if I ever edit this video, I will not put anything. Okay? All right. Bye. I think I need to tell you guys about the point of the video. The point of the video was that I know I talk a lot about accepting ourselves, and this is what I think, what I preach, you know. So seeing me with braids can be can seem very incongruent, but I've come to forgive myself for trying to be complacent with other people. Whenever I talk about these things online, most of the time, it also applies to me. Like the same things that I share, the same messages I share, are constant reminders for me too. And also, I think that because I also think of the history of humans, right, and what we have been doing for years and years and years, and we've always modified our bodies. I always wonder why. Why do we modify our bodies so much? Sometimes it's to send certain signals. Sometimes it's because it has meaning, it means something, either for a certain kind of hierarchy, or maybe it's to signal something to mates, or or maybe it was a sign of belonging to a certain tribe, to a certain, it had a meaning. So I think maybe with that kind of meaning, maybe it's not problematic. I don't know. Now, most things, even like body modifications, most of them are mostly based on aesthetic than it is based on meaning. Even when people tell you, oh, it does have a meaning, a lot of times it's mostly for aesthetics. But I don't know. Am I being too serious? So I do think that wearing braids is not necessarily a problem, but I think the relationship we have with this kind of things is is what matters. So for me, it's like I don't use braids to hide myself, right? Because when I show myself to you or to anyone, really, I try to be as faithful to myself as I can. So, for example, I do try to show myself, like to be who I am. So when I present myself with my hair, my natural hair, without makeup, it's to say, hey, I respect you enough to be me, and I respect myself enough to be me, and I'm presenting to you because I want you to be you with me. I can use all of these artifacts, all of this, I don't know if artifact would be the word, sorry. Maybe not. I can use all these things and to modify and show myself in a certain way, but me trying to show myself in a certain way is to offer you, it's an invitation for you to be yourself. It's an invitation for you to love yourself and love me with what I have to offer. Because if I put contacts, let's say green eyes, okay, and I come to you and you fall for these green eyes that I do not have, then I'm gonna have to leave a lie, or we're both going to be disappointed, because you are going to be disappointed that I am not the person I presented myself as, and you might isolate, take some distance, or maybe you're not gonna have the same esteem for me, and I'm going to be disappointed because you did not love me despite my mask, or despite my modifications, or you did not love me beyond this kind of things, as I would expect you to still be okay with me even if I'm no longer the person you thought I was. So that's a lot to demand from someone else. But if I come to you the way I am, and you don't like the way I am, now I know, and you know. And our encounter can even be more beautiful because we will be our authentic selves and say, hey, that's not for me. You're not for me. I'm not for you. All right? All right? And then we continue our ways. Okay? We part ways. Or we become friends or partners in another aspect. But that's my whole thing. And I think first dates, for example, should be as basic, as simple as can be. Because you're not trying to impress the person in the first date. The first date impressions, the trying to impress someone, comes later on in the relationship, when the basis is already set. The basis of the encounter is already established. Now you can say, okay, so this is the 10th date. We're going to the theaters to see a wonderful piece, and I'm going to look pretty tonight. Maybe not on the 10th date, but you get what I mean. Or maybe maybe in the relationship later on, and then I don't know. But to me, it's like the first kind of encounter should be as basic, as natural as possible. All right?